A study from Harvard confirms what we've been saying all along about the FDA and new drugs. People tend to think that a new medicine, when it comes out, that it must be better than the old one. But not so, because 90% of all new drugs approved by the FDA over the past 30 years are little or no more effective for patients than existing drugs.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that this is really exposing a conspiracy that exists between the FDA and the pharmaceutical industry. And there are financial ties that we'll get into that talk about why this is like that. So hooray that Harvard has come through with this. You know, much like Marcia Angel did. You know, she was the editor-in-chief of the New England Journal of Medicine, and she didn't hold back any. She said that the stuff that was coming across her desk was not worthy of being in a journal of that caliber. And so she quit her job and wrote some books about these conflicts of interest that exist.
Well, you know, plus medications can be dangerous and even lethal. There are 53,000 hospitalizations and 2,400 deaths per week.
That's a stunning
from
number.
expected side effects.
Right.
From properly prescribed medications. And then we add the misuse of medications, the deaths total 400,000 per year.
Yeah, this is just stunning. And we sit back and go, oh, well, the experts must know what they're doing. It must be right. And if you think 400,000 deaths a year is a good number, I mean, look at what happened in the Iraq War. We lost about 8,000 people over 10 years. Over 10 years, we'd have killed 4 million people, okay, from just using drugs the way they were prescribed or misused. That's just not acceptable.
You know, a lot of this has to do with patents, when the patents run out.
With money.
And a lot of the doctors and from the study also in Harvard said that it's better to wait 7 years into the patent before even taking the drug. In other words, don't take new drugs.
Well, the reason for that is pretty straightforward. Because what's happening is
the
pharmaceutical company is doing whatever it can to bring a drug to market quickly. The FDA fast tracks them. The pharmaceutical industry pays a lot of money to the FDA to do that, so they've got a little agreement here that's good for both of them.
Plus they pay Congress.
Oh, well, they have lobbying in Congress, which is really no more than bribing. And so we have an arrangement here that is a business arrangement that's not in the best interest of we the people or of the good doctors who are getting this bad information and taking it into clinical practice. When you're in the ICU or the CCU or your health is in critical condition, I mean, this is something we should be taking very, very seriously.
Well, then they start doing all this mass marketing and they kind of downplay the benefits and don't...
They downplay the risks.
I mean, they downplay the risks and they build up the benefits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is also a neat trick because it helps to convince you that you should buy the drug. I mean, it's amazing to me that a drug, say, that keeps you from having an overactive bladder, maybe
gotta
something
go.
You're right. And they do all these things like that. And then when it comes to the side effects, there's sweet music in the background, and there's somebody playing golf and having a good time, and they're talking about stroke and heart attack and things like that. And you're going, what? If you're really listening. But that mass marketing, and by the way, it's billions of dollars every year that's spent by Big Pharma on direct-to-consumer ads that convince us that this is all the way it's supposed to be. And the doctors are bought into that because this is what we're taught in medical school.
Well, they're also trying to sell sickness.
Well, that's true, too, because there's money in being sick, because you need their drug, right?
Yeah. So they're making up diseases. They're talking about pre-diseases, like osteopenia and pre-diabetes and pre-psychosis and pre-Alzheimer's and pre-obesity and pre-hypertension, all those things.
Which are not diseases at all, because what we're talking about is treating people with drugs or other technologies when they're in the normal range. They're still within the 2 standard deviations of the mean that defines where the normal range is. It will be on the lower side of normal, but it's not outside the range of normal. And so we get into lots of trouble with the promises and the implications that are made, particularly in the case of Alzheimer's disease. now that they've come
That's
out with
big
this.
lately, yeah.
And where's it published? New England Journal of Medicine. Marcia, you're right. You're absolutely right. These articles that come out like that support that there's a problem, okay, with somebody's health because maybe they don't remember something quite right, or they're looking for symptoms that might be consistent with Alzheimer's
Or you can't
disease.
find your keys or something, and so then they're saying, well,
Well,
you should take
maybe-
this Alzheimer's drug because maybe that's what you're getting.
Right. So you've got somebody who's normal. We're normally forgetting things. Who has a hypothetical illness that is not proven by any biomarkers or by any symptoms that they actually have a medical need for some kind of treatment, and they're coming out and saying, well, you should try this because it may be of help, and not mentioning so much about the side effects and complications or the fact that there's no proof that it does any good.
And the fact that the benefits are questionable. Nothing, yeah, like you said, they're not proven.
Right. So the FDA is in the business of opening up new markets for the pharmaceutical industry because there's a close relationship between them and the pharmaceutical industry.
Well, that's why it's good to educate yourself and to listen to programs like this.
Right. So
Because you need to be able to take responsibility for yourself. And if you know your blood pressure's starting to get high in the normal range, try some lifestyle measures.
Right.
Don't just jump to taking a drug.
drugs are almost never as powerful as lifestyle strategies. They can help almost every illness that there is more than the drugs can. There are times when a drug is necessary because you're really in big trouble. But for the most part, you can't compare the benefits of lifestyle to the effects of the pharmaceutical industry's drugs.